This week's WWE Nxt was the one-year celebration of the NXT 2.0 makeover of the brand with a tag team title steel cage match. The NXT North American title was defended and more. I have reviewed nearly every episode of NXT 2.0 over the last year. I think I may have missed one or two. While the quality of the show isn't at the same level as the best of the Black Gold era, there's still a lot to like about it. I think there's a lot of talent in this brand in their early to mid-20s getting TV time that maybe wouldn't have got it in the past, and that's something that will help them further in their careers. It's been a lot of fun watching the likes of Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, the Creed brothers and many others improve in front of us. On the women's side, Mandy Rose has had the best year of her career after years on the main roster, while it's easy to be excited about the futures of Nikita Lyons, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, to name a few. The steel cage was surrounding the ring for the first match of the show. The commentary team of Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett welcomed us to the show. Vic wanted a hug, but Wade had some bad news by pushing him away. The Creed brothers from Diamond Mine were the challengers and former NXT Tag Team Champions. They were screwed out of the titles at Worlds Collide when Damon Kemp turned on them. The fans voted for this to be a steel cage match. Pretty was up next as the heel NXT Tag Team Champions that were booed by the crowd. Steel cage match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Creed brothers, Julius Brutus Creed, vs. Pretty Deadly, Kit Wilson Elton Prince. I will go play-by-play for this since it's a title match. The only way to win is by pinfall, submission or escape the cage. No tags in this match. Pretty Deadly tried to escape several times early on. Brutus stopped Wilson on one side of the cage while Julius went after Prince on the other side of the cage. Prince was over the side of the cage, but Julius pulled Prince back into the ring. Brutus and Julius each hit suplexes. The Creed brothers each tossed the Pretty Deadly guys into the cage. Brutus threw Wilson in the cage again, followed by Julius. Brutus hitting knee strikes to the ribs of Prince. Wilson hit an uppercut on Brutus. Wilson jumped off Prince's back with a double knee attack for a 2 count on Julius. Brutus got a hold of Prince and gave him a powerbomb that sent Prince back first into the cage. Ouch. Wilson and Brutus each climbed to the top of the cage where they sat on top so that they could exchange punches. Brutus sent Wilson into the cage. Julius was on the top with Prince and they did a backflip where Julius slammed Prince to the mat. That was impressive by both guys, but especially Julius considering he's a big guy. Prince was at the top of the cage while Wilson was chopping Julius, who was trying to fight off both guys. Julius was set up on the top of the cage by Pretty Deadly, leading to PD giving Julius a double superplex off the top of the cage into the ring. The fans chanted holy shit, so they had to mute the swear word on the broadcast. Brutus got back up with a belly-to-belly suplex on Prince, then a gut wrench suplex on Wilson, and Brutus did a corner splash. PD tried a double team move on Brutus, but Julius held both PD guys on his shoulders, leading to Brutus hitting the butterball attack off the top to knock down both PD guys and Julius. Damon Kemp ran down to the ring with handcuffs in his hands, but Julius was there to fight off his former ally. Kemp managed to handcuff Julius' right arm to the top of the cage. Brutus was all alone with a double clothesline followed by whipping both PD guys into the cage in double shoulder blocks. The Creeds worked together to try to break the handcuff to free Julius. Brutus jumped off the top to knock both PD guys down for a 2 count on Wilson. Prince tried getting out the door, but Brutus held on to his legs to stop it. Julius got a hold of Kit's hair while Brutus put an ankle lock on Prince, but Wilson saved Prince. PD hit the spilt milk, spinebuster slash neckbreaker combo, double team move leading to Brutus kicking out at 2. It seemed like PD could walk out the door easily, but instead they whipped Brutus into the cage 3 times. Wilson and Prince hit the spilt milk on Brutus again for the pinfall win after 16 minutes. The fans booed that result. Winners by pinfall: Pretty Deadly, Kit Wilson Elton Prince. Lash Legend vs. Fallon Henley, W/Josh Briggs Brooks Jensen. Henley was joined by her friends Mason the Night Howler Ramirez to support Childhood Cancer Month. Henley was aggressive with 2 running dropkicks. The fans were chanting for both women like they usually do. Legend used her power to stretch Henley against Lash's shoulder. Henley hit a bulldog and a running kick to the head for the pinfall win after about 2 minutes. Winner by pinfall, Fallon Henley. Mandy Rose was in the ring doing a promo saying she's back from vacation feeling good and looking even better. Rose said that at Worlds Collide she took out the 2 best women in NXT UK, and when NXT Europe begins, she'll run that too if she wants to. Jane said that they are the 3 biggest stars on the brand because they are the supergroup of supergroups. Gigi claimed that they elevated the NXT Women's Tag Team titles to be the most important tag team titles in wrestling today. Jane trash-talked some other teams in NXT. Rose said that they have proven to be the baddest bitches in the room while talking about Gigi. JC winning the tag team titles again, and she is on her way to becoming the longest reigning champion in NXT history. Rose mentioned that Braun and Milo are great champions, but they haven't had a title reign as long as hers. Rose called for people to put respect on her name. Alba Fire interrupted the promo talking about how Rose doesn't know where Fire came from. Fire said that a Scottish person like herself lets the hard work do the talking. Fire told Rose that she sees her demise because Fire is going to be the new NXT Women's Champion. Jane and Dolan tried to attack, but Fire hit them with her bat. Fire hit a gory bomb on Rose. Then she went up top for more, and that's when Jane Dolan pulled Rose to safety. Alba Fire hasn't been doing much of late. It made sense for her to interrupt and be the one to confront Rose like that. I thought the Toxic Ladies did a nice job with their promo. I don't think Rose will face Alba Fire at Halloween Havoc in late October, but it's fine as a TV feud for a few weeks. I have said for months that I thought Nikita Lyons will be the woman that beats Rose for the title. However, Lyons has been in a tag team of late, so maybe it will be somebody else. Quincy Elliott vs. Sean Gallagher. Quincy got some offense going with an uppercut off the ropes. The fans were chanting Super Diva for him. Quincy followed up with a Yokozuna-style Banzai drop for the pinfall win. It went just over 1 minute. Winner by pinfall, Quincy Elliott. Tony D'Angelo Channing Stacks Lorenzo vs. Cameron Grimes Joe Gacy. Grimes was aggressive against Stacks with a running kick to the head. When Tony tagged in, he got some offense going and Stacks tagged in to work over Grimes with kicks. As Grimes was getting beat up in the corner, Joe Gacy appeared and was standing in Cameron's corner. Grimes didn't want to tag out, so Tony D hit him with a suplex. Grimes made a comeback by hitting a double Hurricane Rana on both opponents. When Grimes stumbled back into the turnbuckle, Gacy tagged himself back in with a Uranage slam, jumping kick and another slam. Grimes yelled at Gacy saying he doesn't need Gacy's help. Grimes ended up hitting a crossbody block takedown on Stacks, then a cave-in on Tony D, and Grimes hit his clothesline finisher off the ropes for the pinfall win after 6 minutes. Winners by pinfall, Cameron Grimes Joe Gacy. After the match, Grimes told Gacy that he didn't want him or need him. The fans chanted "Hug it out" and Grimes went to leave, but the Dyad guys beat up Grimes. The Dyad hit their double team finisher with the double knees. Gacy told Grimes that was his last chance. Gacy hit his clothesline off the ropes to knock down Grimes, and Gacy put a smiley face button on Grimes. They showed a pre-tape interview with Braun Breaker talking to Vic Joseph. Braun talked about how a year ago he was scared shitless, but when he got in front of the audience it was incredible. Braun said that everybody thought he was going to beat Ciampa at Halloween Havoc, but it didn't happen, and it taught him how to deal with adversity. At New Year's Evil, Braun beat Ciampa to win the NXT title, and Braun said it was an incredible night because it was the first time his father Rick Steiner saw him perform live. Vic mentioned Braun inducing Rick Scott Steiner in the WWE Hall of Fame. Braun said it was a surreal moment for him and his family and to close the last chapter on their historic careers. Braun said then he lost to Dolph Ziggler and that one hurt. Braun talked about being at WrestleMania in the box and said he can't leave Texas without the NXT Championship. On Raw, Braun won the NXT title back from Ziggler, and the next night on NXT he beat Gunther in the War. Braun said he proved he can lead this brand. Braun talked about the rivalry with Joe Gacy, saying it taught him how to handle himself as a champion. Vic mentioned Grimes, McDonagh and Bate as guys that Braun beat recently. Braun said he doesn't know what the future holds and his job is to hold the standard that guys set before him. They shook hands to end it. Nikita Lyons Zoe Stark vs. Kiana James Ariana Grace. James started for her team with Stark, then Lyons tagged in and hit a suplex on James, who threw a tantrum at ringside. That led to a break. Grace was in control of Lyons with an armbar, but Lyons came back with a Samoan drop. Lyons hit a spin kick to Grace's head for 2. Stark tagged in with a full Nelson suplex on Grace. When James tagged in, Starks rocked her with punches. James regrouped on the floor and hit a clothesline on Stark. James got a near fall after a backbreaker. Grace tagged back in with Stark hitting her with a running kick. Grace managed a boot to the face for 2. Stark hit her knee 360 move. Lyons tagged in with the kick and split-legged leg drop for the pinfall win after 9 minutes. Winners by pinfall, Nikita Lyons Zoe Stark. Javier Berno vs. Hank Walker. This was set up in backstage segment with Big Body Javi as the heel and Walker as a security guard. Walker wrestled with a buttoned-up shirt, jeans and regular shoes. Barrett said that Walker is a developmental prospect that works security, so at least they are trying to tell us he knows how to wrestle. After Berno hit Walker with a slap to the face, Walker tossed Javi across the ring. Javi got some offense going with a dropkick to the left knee. Walker did a Thesz press followed by some punches and the crowd went wild as Walker took off his shirt to hit some splashes along with a clothesline for the pinfall win after 3 minutes. The fans popped for it. Winner by pinfall, Hank Walker. Tyler Bate was interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell with Tyler saying he was looking for a rematch against Bron Breakker. Bate talked about JD McDonagh reigniting their history last week, and if JD wants a shot at the NXT title then he has to get through Bate first. Next week on NXT, Wendy Choo vs. Cora Jade, Tyler Bate vs. JD McDonagh in a #1 contenders match for the NXT Championship, Sangha vs. Von Wagner, Axiom vs. Nathan Frazer, JC Jane Gigi Dolan vs. Ivy Nile Tatum Paxley. NXT North American Championship, Carmelo Hayes, W/Trick Williams, vs. Solo Sikoa. Solo worked over Hayes with punches followed by a back body drop. Barrett commented on how Hayes was not prepared for this, which is a valid point. Solo hit a back elbow knocking Hayes down followed by a corner clothesline. Solo went for the corner attack, but Trick saved Hayes from that. Solo tossed Hayes over the top onto Trick on the floor. They went to a picture-in-picture break. Solo was in control as he squeezed on the neck of Hayes, who came back with a jumping kick. Solo knocked Hayes down with a headbutt. Solo punched Hayes while on the floor, then back in, and Williams slammed Solo's knee into the apron while the referee was looking at Hayes. That led to Hayes hitting a springboard clothesline to take over. Hayes kicked Solo's left knee followed by a knee wrench. Hayes jumped over Solo's back leading to a chop block to the left knee for 2. Hayes applied a single leg crab on the left knee that Solo had the brace on and that was on for about a minute until Solo got his hand on the bottom rope. Solo started the comeback with punches to the body, then a superkick and a Samoan drop. Solo hit the running hip attack in the corner like Uncle Umaga used to do very well. Solo picked up Hayes. Williams saved his body from that and Hayes hit double knees, but Solo did not go down. Solo did a pop-up Samoan drop for a 2 count. That was a good near fall as the fans chanted that was 3 for it. Solo also executed that move perfectly. Trick was on the apron, so Solo super kicked him down. Hayes went for a springboard move. BTU Solo was ready for him and hit a Uranage slam. Solo went up top. The fans were standing up and Solo hit the top rope splash that's now called the Flying Solo for the only a broken bar ta a broken bar and 3. Solo is the new champion, winner by pinfall and new NXT North American champion, Solo Sikoa. The crowd popped big for the title change while Barrett complained that this was not meant to be and said that this was the most unpredictable era in WWE history. Solo was handed the North American title as the new champion. Solo raised his finger in the air because he's part of the Bloodline group that tells they are the ones, and he had the North American title in the other hand. The show ended with a video narrated by Shawn Michaels, who helps run the NXT brand and I believe has final say on the product. At the end of the video, They showed a new NXT logo that was white gold with a black background. Shawn Michaels, NXT has been and always will be about developing the superstars of tomorrow. While we will always reflect and acknowledge the past, NXT is constantly evolving with a focus on the future. Superstars develop and move on. But our message to our passionate fans will never change. We are NXT. The new logo was shown at the end.